Frontier in South Africa. So he got on a train with others. It was a bulletproof train in Lorenzo Marx, which is now
Maputo, yes.
And then as they were traveling, in what is now Mpumalanga, today,
yes,
their train was, shot at on the sides by the Dutch at that time. So little did they know that as they were traveling in this train, because it was bulletproof, that it would hit a landmine. The landmine torpedoed the train, and he was captured amongst those that were in this train. So he was captured and was put in a concentration camps, in a concentration camp by the Dutch. It was a small concentration, like interrogative, small unit. So as Winston is in this captive state, he's collecting, knowledge in his head that when he's released, he will write volumes and volumes of how great the English are at this time. So he escaped and went back to Lorenzo Marx, and on his way back to the UK, he wrote indeed volumes, and that's how the British believed that they were great. Of course, they won the war against.
He's highly praised by his people as a brave, one of their brave leader.
And I think that's why he spent more than 60 years in public service as a member of parliament, as a minister, and so on. But to Winston Churchill he was just an ordinary man. He was not I wouldn't say he was an intelligent being. He just knew how to spot information that he would use and wrote it down. And for the benefit of the arrogance of the British Crown or the British people, they use that information, to enrich themselves, that in this particular land that is very contestable, which is at the tipping point of Africa, as whites, they fought, against each other. But this was all for the legitimacy of the English and the legitimacy of the Dutch. So it speaks to the fact that whatever information was collected at that time, it was merely to embellish this
superiority complex of a certain group of people.
Exactly.
Who would later claim that they are part of this soul of this continent.
There we go. So it spoke to that. So again, that is history that enriches again the European. But that's also it speaks to the enlightenment of Africa as the continent or the land, that all the resources, including the minds of the peoples of Africa, have actually given aid to the white supremacist, very very arrogant and
pompous,
convalescence related to stance to the British. Some can say even more on French identity within Africans. If you look at countries like Senegal, for instance, Senegal is one of the very sharp-minded people in this continent, but their downfall is French, the identity, French, the language, French this, French that. It's laughable when you think.
Yeah, but I think things seems to be changing now that they've been expelling all these French armies and then trying to change things. I saw even how moving forward. I think they're trying to change that.
And that's great, because at least they are reversing, this very very erasure that was introduced by the French. Because how is it that when we meet as Africans, you say to me, I say I'm a South African and I speak isiXhosa and Zulu and so on. But to me, you come and say I'm a French-speaking black man or a French-speaking Congolese man. It speaks to a warped sense of identity. But moving forward now, it took a militaristic approach by Africans to actually say we're expelling French.
Yes.
We are, changing.
We are not making French a national language anymore.
And we are
Yes.
expelling their armies, we are expelling their ideology. We are, going back to our indigenous, languages and our indigenous religion or religious practices. So that alone speaks to, changes in the African story or in the African way of life. You see, so yeah.
And I think